you are new to Illuvium, let me tell you everything you need to know in order to get started and to make the right decisions early on in this wonderful game. Let's jump right into it and see what it's all about. So first up, you're gonna start right here in the Sanctum Mesa. This is our hub where everything happens that is not really in the run, where you're not capture Illuvials, where you're not farm for resources. You're gonna do it here in the Sanctum Mesa. Right here where I'm standing, this is the obelisk. This is where you teleport in all to the regions. Then here we have the main hub with the forge, the character selection, all of that. Also here is the ship that we crashed onto this mysterious planet. So what you can do right here, you can zoom in, and this symbol right here, a teleport beacon. So you just hold left click. So I'm teleporting from the obelisk to the Sanctum Mesa main hub right here. You can see the ship here in the background. It's a little bit damaged. Most likely we're gonna get to repair this ship. Even though I don't want to leave this planet, but I think the overall story will be around repairing the ship and actually leaving the planet again. So the first thing I want to show you is the forge right here. Here is where you're gonna do all your crafting. First up, we got the armaments. Here you will craft all the weapons and the armor. We're gonna talk about that in a few minutes. Then we got equipment right here, which is arguably the most important thing that you should do early on. Mag boots and jetpack is the thing you want to upgrade to Supreme, and that's basically what everybody has been doing so far, because this gives you a huge quality of life improvement. You're gonna fly faster, you're gonna jump higher, and you're just gonna have overall more fun in the game, and also you're gonna be faster collecting everything from there on that you need in the future. So the first thing I would recommend you to do is farm your equipment, and we're gonna have a look at that in a second, how that exactly looks like. Let's quickly go over the other features of the forge. We got ingots right here, so if you get some ores right here from the rocks, you're gonna melt them into ingots, and those are used in all our crafting. Then we got shards. This is kind of like your Pokeballs. This is what you use to capture the Illuvials. Everything in Illuvium has tiers. Tiers is the rarity of something. So tier 0 is the free-to-play experience. Then we got tier 1, tier 2, all the way down to tier 5. Tier 5 is the rarest thing you can find. Tier 5 Illuvial, a tier 5 shard, a tier 5 weapon, and so on. Here in the shards we have one extra tier, which is actually a cured master shard. Similar to the master ball in Pokemon, this will guarantee you 100% capture rate. It's gonna be expensive, but this is what you wanna use when you have that tier 5 stage 3 Illuvial in front of you, the rarest of the rare, to guarantee a capture. So I just mentioned stages. You got stage 1, 2, 3. And this is something like you could call it the evolution of that specific item, of that specific thing. So for example, we can check it right here in armaments. We go to tier 3, or let's go to tier 5, the rarest of the rare weapon. And then we have a tier 5 weapon here. You can see it with those little dots on top, like those little lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 signalizes this is a tier 5 weapon. And then we have those 3 dots down here. That's a stage 1 weapon. Then we can evolve it into a stage 2 weapon. And then we can evolve it into a stage 3 weapon. You need the stage 2 weapon for that. And a bunch of other materials, because this is the rarest of the rare, right? This is a tier 5 stage 3 weapon. Let's quickly keep on going in here and finish the forge. We got gemstones. You get those in the rocks. And you also need this to craft, mostly to craft weapons. As you can see right here, I need a resplendent air gem, the best, the tier 5 air gem again, to craft this tier 5 weapon. And once you find those things, you need to cure them. That's the same with the shards. You will find fragments, like here, a tier 0 shard fragment, and then you actually need to cure them. And then once you cured them, now they are actually usable in the game, and you can use them to capture Illuvials. Quick heads up, tier 0 shards, it's the free-to-play experience, right? Tier 0 can only be used to capture tier 0 Illuvials. And then tier 1 to tier 5 shards to capture anything else. The higher the shard you use, the higher your capture chance will be. And curing those shards will take some fuel. In this case, it's gonna be Hyperion. You can see it right here. And for tier 0 shard, it costs nothing because it's a free-to-play experience. Next up, we got drone attachments, drone augments. Those are really, really important. And we're gonna come to this in the point number 2, what you have to do after you upgraded your gear. What should you do next? We're gonna talk about more about drone components, because this is by far the most important thing if you actually wanna progress in the game and get to stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 runs. Then we also have skins. you have to harvest those little bugs in the overworld to get the dye, make the dye, and then you make the skins out of that. And that's a whole other topic. We're not going to talk about that yet. One more thing you have here is deconstruct. You can deconstruct the shards to then get shard dust. And if you deconstruct enough of them, let's try it right here. We're gonna deconstruct 14 of my tier 3 shards. That's gonna give me almost 100 dust right here. And now this dust I can use to craft the master shard. So master shards are very expensive for the reason that you first have to get other shards, cure those shards, deconstruct those shards, use the dust you get from deconstructing to then actually make your master shard, and that's gonna cost fuel again. But again, this is the best of the best, 100% captured chance, and that's why it's a little bit more expensive. As you can see right here, my shard dust has not arrived yet. Because we're on the blockchain, everything we do has to be minted first. So don't freak out, just wait a bit, refresh a bit. Usually in no time, you should see everything that you did actually appear in your inventory. Now all our shard dust has been minted and we can actually make a cured master shard. All right, let's finish this Sanctum Mesa and show you what else you can do here. Here is the fusion hub. If you go in here, you can fuse illuvials. So for example, I want to make a Raylu. What I need for that is, that's a stage 2 of this line. I need the stage 1, 3 of that, and then 3 of the stage 1 will evolve into the stage 2 of it. But I also need experience required. So I would have to level up those stage 1 rays to have a high enough level to then be fused into a Raylu and so on. If you then want to make a stage 3, you take 3 of the Raylu, and then you're gonna make a Rayleigh. Again, you need some levels for that. We got here the leaderboard, you can check it out. And then over here we have the character setup. So you can change from female into male and vice versa. And you also got the different drones right here. I personally prefer Mozart, not only because I'm Austrian, also I really like his ability. Because once you're in the overworld hunting for those illuvials, your drone will have an ability. And we're gonna talk about this once we jump into a run. But I like Mozart. But my recommendation to you would be just try out all the drones, see what they can do and get to learn them, because all of them have a use case in specific scenarios. And then lastly, down here, we have our arena, survival arena interface. And you can access this also from the menu. Probably when you start the game, you are met with this screen. And you don't wanna jump in the arena yet. You can try it out, especially the tutorial, and also survival is very beginner friendly. But then you don't want to go into a rank game because Illuvium Arena uses the illuvials that you capture in the overworld. So the natural way of doing things is jump into the overworld, capture some illuvials, and then take them into the arena and then try your luck there. But you can try casual, you can also play versus a bot, versus the AI, and then Leviathan is going to be in the future where actually the stats of the illuvials that you captured will matter. So this is really the whale's playground. The most expensive illuvials with the best stats, those are gonna matter in there. In the Ascendant, everything is normalized, everything has the same stats to ensure a competitive setting. All right, let's jump back into the overworld. We have a little teleporter beacon here. Goes a little bit faster than teleporting by hand. If you wanna find out about the most efficient way to move in this game, like this, and using all your power to fly all the way over there, which is a really big part of this and a really fun part of this game. Check out my playlist in the description down below. It's called the Essential Guides playlist for Illuvium, and there I put all my guides in. I made hundreds of guides, but sometimes it's hard to find the one that you need. And in there, I think I have all my guides that really will help you to start in the game and to learn the very important basics and also some very advanced concepts already. Alrighty, so now we checked out everything in Sanctum Mesa, we're gonna jump into a run. So first things first, you wanna jump into tier 0 runs. You can choose any region right here. I'm gonna just go with Brightland Steppes, and then I'm gonna press stage 0. Here you're gonna find the tier 0 resources and illuvials. Alright, now you are in a tier 0 run. You can press Q on your keyboard to actually have this sensor and see everything that's going on around you. And those are the things you can hunt, right? This is a plant. I shoot it down. You press 2. 1 or 2 are your different ammunition. So 1 is this. This is what you use to mainly shoot down illuvials. And then 2 is this, a sniper rifle. This is what we use to actually harvest those plants, those rocks, and everything around it. And you will find more tips about all of this in the Essentials guides as well. But what you want to do is shoot down those plants, and you also want to shoot down those rocks. because you actually need everything. You also want to capture those Illuvials that are running around, and you want to find, in the beginning you want to find a very easy encounter. I press F, I press G, you can see I get my... yeah, there is a lot to it, right? But we're gonna take it step by step. So what I did here, you see it in the bottom, right underneath me, there is F. Now it's on cooldown. This is my drone ability. It will slow down the Illuvial. And then I also have a Chi ability. So once you craft a sword in the forge or any weapon, you can put that weapon into your weapon slot, and then you will get a Chi ability which enhances your shots. So I think the sword is the best one. So I think after you get while you get your boots, your jetpack, you also want to use those tier 0 resources to craft yourself a weapon, put it in here, and have a Chi ability, have a way easier time hunting down those Illuvials. At one day you want to have that in your deck, so your ranger can equip a weapon, have composite affinities and classes, and so on. So now what we can do is either scan or jump right in. Let's scan it real quick. We got a lesser air Atipo and a lesser nature flesh. I would recommend you to stick with rogues, bulwarks, and fighters. Because rogues, really good damage, fighters, really good damage and very consistent. And then bulwarks is your tanks. So you need tanks and damage. So you either go for bulwarks and rogues, bulwarks and fighters, or all of them. Those three are really the best what you can get in the early game. So I don't want any of those. Alright, let's keep hunting for those rocks. There is another flesh. So I can show you again the ability. So if I press F right here, my Molzer will come, slow him down. Then I shoot until I almost overload my weapon. I press G, have strong unlimited shots and shoot it down. G again is there because I have my weapon equipped. Tier 0 runs are still pretty easy to shoot down like this, but later on you will need F and G ability. Make sure you don't overload while you're shooting. And there you go, we can scan it again. Maybe we see a fighter, a bulwark, or a rogue. There we go, there's a lesser earth Doka. We already have one of those. If we play 2 times the same unit, we're not gonna get 2 earth and 2 fighter stacks. And actually here's a rogue right there. We got a nature volante, FG, shoot him down. Too easy. And you kind of want to stick to one affinity. So maybe you want to get a lot of earth units, or you want to get a lot of rogues, stick to some classes, or you want to get a lot of nature units. The more you get of one thing, the stronger everything gets. So if you play 5 fighters and 5 earths, for example, that's a very strong early composition. And for example, 5 fire and 3 bulwarks and 2 rogues, also very strong composition. This is a beautiful encounter. We got a nature volante and a nature Doka. All right, we are in an encounter. If this is your first encounter, you don't have those consumables yet. If you already have done some runs and have harvested some plants, you're gonna have some consumables. And they're gonna be very good. For example, Pop Spore give you thorns. And then we have the really good ones. Gumbo Drop gives you attack damage and attack speed, which is really good on fighters and rogues, and so on. So that's another reason why you want to just keep harvesting stones, plants, and everything you see, because everything is going to give you something that you need. And let's say this is already our second tier 0 run and we have already some consumables. So let's actually play our Doka right here. Let's imagine we don't have the other Illuvials, then we're going to give him this Gumbo Drop to boost his damage. We're going to bond with our ranger because now she also becomes earth and fighter. The unit you bond with, you get those synergies, earth and fighter. So now we just need one more earth unit or one more fighter unit and we would activate this trait. As you can see here, if you got 3 fighters, your whole team gets 6% attack speed and your fighters get 12% attack speed. And that's what I mean, the more you bring of one thing, the better it gets. That's why we want that Doka here, nature fighter. Alright, let's try to get it. Basically we want to focus one of them, and we want them to focus both of our units. So what I mean is I'm going to put the ranger right here, so the volante will attack. It's a rogue, it will jump here. It will attack my ranger, but I put my Doka on the side, so when this Doka comes, it will attack my Doka. So his damage is split between my ranger and my Doka, and my damage, both of my units focus the same unit, so we kill them hopefully a little bit faster. Good thing is our earth is countering their nature. It's looking pretty good because you can check it out right here. Earth counters nature. So we're going hyperactive. I have another video about hyperactive in the playlist, so just check that out. And you will slowly master this game if you follow along with my guides. I'm sure about that. So we're actually able to beat the encounter. Now you can choose which one to capture. I want the Doka. It costs 25, so I'm going to lose 25 stability up here. From 90 down to 65. So we have a lot more tries to capture them. And hopefully we get him right here. and get another fighter for our team. Now we have 3 fighters, and now it gets already so much easier to capture more and more Illuvials, and you're gonna have a snowballing effect from here on out. The first Illuvial you capture is arguably the most important one. And then we're also gonna go for the Volante, because why not? Perfect, we got him. Now we actually have 2 nature units in my deck, and what we can do now is play the Earth Doka, the Nature Volante, the Nature Doka, and our Ranger bonds with the Nature Doka, which means our Ranger will become a Nature Fighter, which means we then have on the board 3 fighters, 3 Nature, and 1 Earth. And that is gonna boost our damage and power in the auto battle very much. Having 3 Natures activated, 3 fighters activated, huge. One other tip I have for you, these little bubbles here, can I manage? Yeah, I got into it. So those bubbles are your elevators, and you want to use them in the Brightland steps. Usually you want to go up to the top where it's red on the map. Doesn't look like we're going to red place, but we can traverse over here. And then you want to work your way from the top to the bottom, because it's way easier going down than it's going up. We all know that. And yeah, let me just get over there to the marker and start farming from there. Just a few jumps. And we're over here. Beautiful. Then we press Q, see what's up here. And we start farming again. In this case, shooting. One of my favorite things is that we can actually snipe down all those resources. We don't have to go there and harvest them manually. Let's check out what we have obtained so far. And as you can see here, there is our consumables that we got from the plants. There is our 2 Illuvials. Then we have some ores and some shards from the rocks. And then we also have essence right here. So essence comes as a byproduct of farming plants. If you're farming plants, you get consumables, and randomly you get 2 different essences, the blue and the red one. Basically, if you need essences, you need it to craft anything in the forge, you want to harvest plants. And if you need ores, shards or gemstones, then you get that in the rocks. Alrighty, let's say we have used up all our energy, farmed everything we could have farmed. Let's get back to the Sanctum Mesa and use what we just got and talk about the last few things I wanted to tell you. So we are back through the teleporter. Let's hit to the forge. And now that you're back, you can change your team. So now we're gonna use what we just caught. We caught a lesser Nature Doka, didn't have that one. And we also caught a Volante. So now we upgraded our team. Now we can check out the forge. And as I said, the most important thing right now, upgrading your basic jetpack and your basic map boost. You need those essences that we get from the plants, and you need Neodar ingot, and Rhodium ingot is the other one. Then you just craft the ingot, and then you can craft your jetpack or your boots. A little heads up, you already have a basic jetpack and a basic map boots. So all you have to do is go into inventory, unequip them, and craft the advanced jetpack and boots, because those need basic jetpack to be upgraded, right? First up, go into tier 0 runs and farm everything. You want to capture some Illuvials, you want to mine some rocks, and you want to harvest some plants. Those are the 3 things you're going to do in an overworld run. Then you want to use those resources to upgrade your gear, maybe craft some weapons for that Chi ability we talked about, upgrade your team, and so on. At one point, you are gonna wanna jump into a stage 1 run, then a stage 2 run. So what's the most important thing to actually be successful in higher stage run? It is having a full team. And how do we get a full team? With this drone equipment right here. You can see it if I unequip that. See our team? Now it has 4 slots. Boom, we equip that. Now we have 8 slots and can actually bring a full team onto the board in our auto battler adventures. So again, you go in here into the 0-point forge, you go to drone, and then you scroll down a bit and you find the index capacitator. There is a whole bunch of drone augments. Index capacitator is tier number 2. There's also some tier 0 and tier 1s. I don't like them too much. I wouldn't spend resources on that, and I would go straight for index capacitator. The first one is gonna already give you 2 extra Illuvial slots. The second one gives you 4 extra Illuvial slots. And then the third one gives you 6 extra Illuvial slots, which will be a total of 10 Illuvials, but you can only bring 8 onto the board anyway. This just helps you to bring more units and stay flexible, and then you're gonna play what is best against the opponent you're facing. And I think a big next step would be getting either, you can see it right here, duplicate ore and also minus mining costs, so drone equipment that is specialized in mining and harvesting, or you get some drone equipment like here, capture power, which is specialized in capturing Illuvials. And then at the very end game, you're gonna have two different sets maybe. One that goes all into capturing Illuviums and one that goes all into mining. One that goes maybe all even harvesting plants. And then, for example, you go in a run, bring all your drone attachments that are good for mining rocks. And then you just get the most out of your fuel spent by just maximizing what you get out of one run with those drone attachments. I know this was a lot to digest, but I hope I helped you get started in Illuvium and you got the gist of it, what you have to do early on to be most efficient and have the most fun, I think. Because yes, you're most efficient with the upgraded boots and the jetpack, but it's also just so much fun to jump around like this and just make so much distance with a few jumps. I hope that one day you're gonna press C and you're gonna get the joy that I have when I look at my fully completed team. I love this team. I spent a lot of time crafting it and it works super well in Crimson Waste Stage 3 runs. I don't even need consumables really. If you also want to learn how to craft decks in the Illuvium Overworld, I have this video right here for you, and this is gonna teach you everything you need to know to get started with team building in the Overworld, which is probably one of the most important things in the game.